Hello and welcome to another episode of Wins and Lessons. We win some, we learn some. This is a podcast about the fears, failures, and fun of being a dad.
Yeah, and today we talk with Richard Larrabee, a father of three, and we learned some good stuff. What did we learn?
Yeah, Richard talked a lot about the value and importance of patience as a dad. This comes up nearly every episode. The value of presence, being present. We talked a little bit too about the hardship of watching a kid of your own walk down a road that has a dead end, and you know there's a dead end there, and how to engage that. So we hope this is helpful and encouraging. Enjoy. First, I just want to say thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with us and sitting with us.
Sure.
And our whole goal is to just mine other men for wisdom, to learn from men, from their wins and their hard lessons.
Right.
But I don't think I don't want to speak for Nathan, but I don't think I know like your story of relationship with your dad and what that was like. Would you share with us a little bit? Like, what was your relationship with your dad like growing up?
Sure. My relationship with Dad was pretty great, actually. I learned a lot of my mechanical skills, just from him. We call it tinkering.
Yeah.
So,
And are you like a pretty mechanical guy too?
Yeah, I think that's.
Well, he rides a motorcycle. Anyone that rides a motorcycle, I feel like you
Kinda have to
gotta
be.
know a lot about
Yeah,
engines
he
and
was
mechanics
kind
and
of
stuff.
a hot rodder.
Was really?
Actually, Mom was 16 and Dad was 19 when they got married. So,
Oh wow.
so they were pretty young. But yeah, he was kind of a hot rodder and always in the engines and
Yeah.
in that aspect of it.
As a hobby, or was that like a vocation of his?
More of a hobby. His work. Well, we actually moved to the Bernie area out of Riverside County in like '72. I think I was about 8.
That sounds like a big culture shock.
These big, huge boulders to these big, tall pine trees.
Mhm.
As a boy,
Yeah.
it was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But he did sawmill work in the
Okay.
Bernie area most of his working career. So
Okay.
yeah.
And what kind of dad was he? Was he like?
I can remember early on that he started working nights, and so it was Mom getting us off to school, and we'd come home and he'd be at work. But I think he made up for it in the weekends.
Mm.
He definitely, being in the Bernie area, teach us a lot of hunting and fishing and camping and kind of more of that.
Outdoorsy kind of like
very-
boy stuff, right?
Very outdoorsy. Yeah, and I have a younger brother. He's not quite 2 years, about a year and 10 months younger than me.
Yeah.
So it's the two of us, two boys. So.
And did Dad have a relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, but it was kind of we didn't. I remember going to vacation Bible school when I first learned about God, so to speak. In the summers and stuff, we weren't churchgoers, and he was kind of like, you didn't talk about religion, but
We've heard that a couple times now, where it's like
I think
politics.
it's a generational
maybe a
thing.
generation.
It's a generational thing,
Yeah.
So
which is funny because like we're like, hey, that's what we kind of try to do. We try to talk about
That's what we want to talk about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
possible.
right. Yeah, I actually didn't know Jesus. Started attending Little Country, and I think it was in like '92 in Palo Cedro.
Mm.
We would go to the Assembly of God there in Bernie, and I knew of God, but I didn't know I could have that personal relationship with Christ until about '92. I was pretty close to my 30s, somewhere right in there. So
And then how many kids do you have?
I got 3 kids. Joshua, and I know Nathan, a little bit of my story. Joshua, Cindy had Josh when I came along. He was just over a year old.
Okay.
And he's African American. He became my son. So.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 girls, Nicole and Rihanna.
So, dude, you're like instant dad,
Yeah. Yeah. it was-
right? Like,
Yep. Which definitely helped me grow up because I was kind of,
How old were you when you've had your first?
see, Nicole was born in '91. We got married in April 1990, April 21st. After dating from like November, we just knew we'd actually dated in high school half of our junior year, but it wouldn't have worked then, and we look back and know that now. But
yeah.
so we kind of went our separate ways. I went to back down to Orange County, and she went to Humboldt State, and so there was a 7-year gap there. And then I tell her, as we kind of got beat up by the world somewhat, we both came back home to live with parents, and that's when we met. You know, and we got married in April 21st in 1990, and we had Nicole March 1991. So,
But your son was already a year and a half?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that like, already kind of being a dad,
Right.
right as your marriage begins, and then having another child, and yeah, what was that like?
You know, he was little. He didn't really see it, but we did. You know, I ran into some racism, and you know, people are people, and it did hurt. But you know, I just, by loving her and having loved her since, you know, we've known her since 5th grade. I just was like, I was going to accept that, and I was going to basically raise him as my own. And,
Yeah.
you know, so I think I did. He's doing pretty well. He knows Christ, and they're all here now. He went in the Navy for a while, but they're all here now, which is really good. So.
Yeah.
Was when you when you were growing up, did you think like, hey, I want to be a dad? Was that like a passion that you had thought about?
In some instant, yes, because
As much as guys can think about anything,
Right.
I don't know.
right. My dad was the youngest. He had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. He's the last one now, and so he kind of had 2 stepdads that weren't. He didn't think fondly of. They weren't very good role models for him, I don't think. So he always wondered if he could be a good dad. So, and I think he did a great job. But I think seeing their, you know, before my mom passed about 4 years ago, they had like 55 years, you know, of marriage in.
Wow.
So I think in that aspect of seeing that model in them, I think that was, you know, somewhat of a quest for me. I would follow that path of just kiddos.
I want to hear, you know, a win for you as a dad, right? In a lesson. But before I ask that, and maybe these are connected to some degree, but you just, even in your tone and your words and stuff, you think your dad was a great dad. Like, what was something that you felt like your dad crushed? Like, what was a win of your dad's? And maybe it impacts the way, you know, you share about a win of you being a dad.
Wow.
But what was something that you like?
That's a good
Man, I think
Yeah, it's like
really
it's
good
like
at this.
how like something that you took from your dad and you said, "Oh, I want to do that too." Because
Yeah, and maybe he wasn't even aware of it.
yeah, we talked about this yesterday too. Was a lot of times you learn from your dad in 2 ways, right? It's, hey, this is what I don't want to do,
Yeah.
or this is what I do want to do, and
Right.
depending on how your dad was, it might be a different split.
Yeah.
But what was something that your dad did where you're like, "Oh, this was really worked for me. This is great. Like, I'm going to roll this over into my own."
Yeah, this is what a dad
Parenting,
is.
yeah.
This is- yeah.
Yeah, I think just that he was there, and in the sense of, you know, teaching me hunting. You know, I can remember as a boy, you know, when dove hunting with him, walking behind him, you know, and he's got his shotgun, and he'd dump down so the dove would fly over, and I'd dump down behind him. You know, and I just think you look at those little moments, and they're just precious. You know,
Yeah.
as a young boy, and just kind of like-minded, I guess, in the mechanical skill part of it. You know, got into forestry and mechanics and woodworking more was my kind of, you know, my path, just being from that, you know, area. So
Lumber mill.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Sawmill,
just
yeah.
you know, engine. I remember redoing small engines with him and stuff like that. We were just more like-minded in that sense, I think, and then just that time with him.
You said you had a younger brother?
Yeah.
Was he interested in those same things as well? Did he have like hobbies or like interests?
No, not as much really.
Okay.
He got into started with field and track and became a big runner. He's ran Boston Marathon, LA
wow.
Marathon. So he went to Shasta College and then Chico State and got a natural resource degree and went into parks. He worked at Pinnacles down by Gilroy for quite a few years, and then Lassen Park, and then he's been at Whiskey Town for, you know, another 10 years. He just
that's cool.
actually was able to do an early retirement. So
Oh, cool.
he kind of went that path, but he was definitely more into running and athletic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So was I don't know how to say this, but like because you were more probably aligned with your dad's interests, and maybe
Right.
your brother was a little bit doing stuff that maybe your dad wasn't as interested in. Did you see like maybe does your brother have a really good relationship with his dad, with your dad as well?
Were you your dad's favorite?
Well,
Is that what
I
you're
want to
trying
say
ask,
I want to
Nathan?
say that, but like I don't want to
Do we
say that
want
in a
on
weird
record?
way.
No.
I know. I think the thing.
Yeah,
I'm-
what was your from your perspective? What
Yeah.
was your relationship with,
Yeah.
or your dad's relationship with your brother? Like, do you feel is that what?
Yeah,
you're
that's what I'm
saying?
getting at. Yeah, were you your dad's favorite? I guess.
Probably yes, but yeah. No, there's a good relationship too. It was just for my dad. I think it was just different interests. Not that he pushed my brother's side or anything, but I can remember Dave would be like, "You go ask Daddy." He always tells you yes. So, but I also knew I was the oldest, so it's like, okay, if this falters, the responsibility I got to fess up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
In that sense, so.
It reminds me of like I can't remember who it was. I should probably know, but it was like maybe Isaac or something, or one of them,
Yeah.
and they had the son that was a hunter,
Yeah.
and then they had the other one that wasn't, and
Yeah.
he loved that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of that. But I think the point. I think what like strikes me and is something I've been thinking about lately is that. Because my dad was a scientist. I was all about sports. My dad was a scientist. I was all about sports, and like. I wish that he would have, even though he wasn't into what I was into and I wasn't into what he was into, I wish he would have probably shown more interest in like the things that I was into. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And I think that I've been thinking a lot about like as a father, it's so important to, even if you're not into what your kids are into, to like try to be.
Find a way into that.
Find a way into that. And I think that that's so critical. And it sounds like your dad, even though he wasn't probably into athletics and running and all these other things as much as your brother, it was easy with you, right? Because he loves hunting and fishing and tinkering and doing all that stuff. It was simple with you, but he probably had to make an effort a little bit more with your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And I think that's just an important thing that I try to think
Do
about.
you have the secret sauce? We talked about this a little bit in another episode.
What's the
We're
secret?
still here to talk to you, Richard, but let me drill Nathan for a minute. Well, I don't know what order all these episodes are coming out in, but we talked about how hard it is to engage with a child of yours that they're asking you to do something that you're really not that interested. Like it's easy to do something with a kid who's like, hey, if you like playing baseball, and they're like, Dad, you want to play catch? Like, yeah, I'll play some catch. But if they want to play Barbie dolls and you love your daughter, but you're like, I don't really know if I want to play Barbie dolls right now.
I don't know if there's any secret sauce. Like anybody can get down for 30 minutes and play Barbie dolls with their daughter.
Sure.
I think where it becomes more of a really like a sacrifice kind of thing is if it's like that's what they are. Like if they're super duper into something that you like. Here's what I think about. Okay, my kids and your kids are into baseball. Okay, we do so much baseball. Baseball is so easy for me because I love baseball. But sometimes I think about, gosh, what if I had all girls and they were super into gymnastics, and I had to go spend my whole entire weekend, like 16 hours a week, watching like little girls gymnastics.
Yeah.
That would be, and a lot of people do that, and they become huge fans. And I don't know.
I love it. Well, we got another dad here. I don't know if there's a bridge here, but how have you navigated that, Richard? Are there things like, you got 2 daughters?
Yes.
2 daughters. So maybe there are interests that they were interested in that you had to dedicate more time than you wanted to. But how do you do that?
They're both very artistic, and I am not. So that was challenging. Nicole did get an AA in art, here at Chester College, and I was thinking as you guys were talking, Josh definitely went sports. He played East Reading Little League.
Oh, cool.
He played for the Enterprise Hornets most of his high school years.
Yeah.
And track, he did track and field for them. So he got into quite a bit of sports. And, I was also thinking I can remember crawling on the floor with the girls doing Barbies.
Yeah.
They usually want to undress, and I'm trying to dress them. But,
Yeah.
So, I think you don't want to have a favorite, but I
Right.
think it's kind of, somewhat natural. Like I know Cindy, because, Josh, her firstborn, and just the protective mother. I think Josh I would say was maybe her favorite. If I was
Yeah.
But it's challenging, but
Yeah.
in a good way. You just try to give them those moments of pressing into their interest and taking that sacrifice, I guess, if you will. So.
What's something that you feel like, not in a boastful way, but something that you're fond of or proud of? That, man, I think I did, past tense, or currently am doing this well, like a win as a dad.
Just, my dad, he's recently gone through like 3 different cancers, and I just want to help him finish his days well. Try not to get choked up here.
It's okay. We got some tissues right there in front of you.
All right.
So
I just want to help him finish his days, and so I think that's, that's kind of where I'm with him, and he's a trooper. He's still living alone. He's 82, and he's quite a trooper. Who's gone through some stuff, and he's actually doing fairly well. So, I don't know if that answer.
Well, like, I'm thinking that's beautiful, because I think that hopefully, as a dad raising kids, how we care for our own parents models to them how we are to care for people, and hopefully, will you do the same for me, kid? Like, if I'm in your situation,
that day comes.
And I think too, like, I remember talking with my dad a lot about this, and he talks about this more, maybe in the last decade or so, is we've had to do this with family and his parents, but that command in Exodus to, like, honor your father and mother,
right?
That wasn't just a felt board Bible story. That wasn't for Sunday school. That was to adults. That was to an entire people group. It wasn't just like Jesus was like, hey, or God's like, let me throw this one in for the Sunday school kids. Like, hey, listen to your parents.
Yeah, that's the one, by the way, that they love to teach in Sunday school.
It is. And I'm all for it.
Obey your parents.
Yeah.
But it takes on a whole new meaning as you get older, right?
Yes. And in your situation now, Richard, like, it's not just when you were a child, but how do you honor your dad now? How are you caring for your dad now? And I think that's an aspect of that command, that message of God, that we don't think about. And so for me, as a son watching my dad and the way he's caring for his parents at these ages, like, he's still being a dad to me in teaching me these things by just the way he cares for his parents and stuff. And so I think that's beautiful. But my question is more about, like, Nathan and I got younger kids. Like what are some things that you did? And for the dads out there who have, high school and younger kids, like, what's a win when you look back on the kids and stuff and your time as a dad? What was something that you really focused your time or energy on? You gave it a lot of time to.
I think you feel at times that you just kind of what you knew at the moment, and did the best, that you knew at the time, and definitely, prayer through the years for them for sure, and just helping them navigate through those seasons that aren't so bright, And I think it's just being there, and just being speaking into them, and so.
What's a lesson or two that you've learned? Maybe it's an easy way. You learned it quick, early, or maybe it's a hard way.
Right.
Or you're still learning it.
I think I was sharing with just you guys before we started recording that there's 13 years between Nicole and Rihanna, and Nicole was very headstrong, and so it was always, how do I which you kind of want in a girl in today's world, but how do I funnel that, focus that?
Yeah.
And then when Rihanna was born, it's like, oh, we should have known she was a middle kid.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just navigating through that, and they're all different in their ways, and we kind of tease it. We've had an 88 baby, a 91 baby, and a 2003 baby. So we covered
3
some-
decades.
Got all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
having babies for 3
Well,
decades.
let me ask you this then, if I can. Everything has happened the way it's happened. But in raising children in different decades, or even raising daughters 13 years apart, does that cause you to reflect a little bit? Not with regret or guilt or shame, but like, oh, I would have done this differently 10 10 years ago, you know, what I'm learning now, I wish I would have done that then, or what I learned then, I'm really want to double down on this now.
Right.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, because, you know, we, at least me, we had all our kids probably between the ages of when I was 30 and, you know, 40, let's say 40, right? 10 years. And so I'm this certain type of guy in 10 years, but I'm also different at 40 than I was in 30 and different at 20, right? So there's such a big gap. I mean, you're a different guy you're probably, I'm the same guy pretty much for all of my kids when I first were changing their diapers and all that stuff, but you're a different
But 13
guy
years, that's a difference.
for all your, I mean, the last one, they get a really mature, really mature
they
Richard,
get a sage father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got all the wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because Josh turned 16, Nicole turned 13, and we had a 1-year-old, and we both turned 40. But, you know, looking back now, I think Rihanna kind of was the knitted us at that time because, you know, the teenagers were going through some things. So kind of like.
Oh, are teenagers hard? Is that what's going on here?
A little bit. So.
Breaking news, everybody.
Yeah.
And
I got a 13-year-old, so.
Yeah, I got one in a little bit here too.
Yeah. But in that, it kept us knit as a family, you know. Charles would do that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of, maybe that was part of God's plan, right? It to be like, oh, hey, you know, they have to save this last one for the end and kind of knit them together with it.
Give me, because you brought it up and Nathan and I are there. Give me some like raising teenager wisdom. What to some parents rolling through some teenage years and maybe some hard teenage years, or you can leave out details of your experience and stuff of your kids and everything, but like, what would be some of your encouragement, advice, wisdom to dads having teenagers?
You know, I think just there again, just being there. You know how Christ, we go through some things and we're in a bad season and he's there. We know he's there with us. And I think as a dad, that's kind of for our kids is to help them walk through it. And maybe it's even a road, you know, I've shared with my son, you know, it's a road that I can tell you is a dead end, but if you think you need to go down it and just tough love, you know, through it.
Is that, how do you navigate that emotionally or relationally, watching a kid go down a road that you know is a dead end? Like were there many times where you're like, no, turn around, or is that hard to let them go and watch them figure that out?
It's very difficult. You know, you kind of wait for one to get home, and when they get home, you just kind of want them to kick them out, you know, in a sense.
Yeah.
And we've had to do that. So, but I think in that, it's just, they know that you love them, that you care, even though they're, you know, being rebellious or in a dark season or whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday around control, right? And it was, we were talking to somebody and they were like, oh, I was just so controlling. And, you know, this is more of a trust in God too, right? Hey, I know you're going down this road. I could tell you it's a dead end. But if you need to go down it, you can't control that, right? You have to let them, and then you have to just trust God, and like you said earlier, just pray, and that they'll learn on their own. And God knows I did, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty like good to know.
Yeah.
What you know what I always think about is what do you feel is like important? You know what I mean? Like what's important about being a dad? And so I think like where I'm going with this is that I used to just like get upset about all the tiny little things, you know, my kids talking back to me or this didn't go my way, this didn't go my way, but I just felt like it was like, hey, Nathan, you need to focus on like what's the big important things in being a dad. Like what are the really big important things? I mean, you mentioned being present, you mentioned prayer. Like what are some other things that you're like, oh, this is like, if you're a dad, you've got to be doing this?
Wow. You know, I'm kind of very patient. So I think
Yeah, patience.
as a dad, being very patient, which is very challenging at times.
You say you are patient or you're not patient?
I am patient.
You are patient.
Okay.
Very patient. And so I think that's, as far as maybe my health has helped me. And
What do you think that looks like? Like if you had to frame that or shape that for a dad walking through a situation, like what does patience with a child kind of look like in a practical sense?
I think there again, it's, I'm going to be there for you no matter what, I think I kind of try to look, sometimes you don't know what God's doing until he's brought you through it and you look back and it's like, oh, that's what you were doing. And so I try to look at that aspect of like, okay, this seems dark maybe right now, but long term, he's going to work in it and he's going to bring you through it and he's going to bring it through you with your kids. And just, I guess just what are you trying to show me, Lord? And it always trying to perceive of how he wants you to raise that particular child, or, so, yeah.
I think patience has to be essential in the everyday carry of a father, right?
Yeah, for sure. Patience is so hard for me, and I think that the fundamental issue I struggle with is selfishness, right? And so I was raised always being off by myself. I didn't have a brother at the time, and I was just always doing my own thing. And then, I never really wanted girlfriends. I just always wanted my freedom. Like I always valued freedom and independence my whole life. And then you have kids, all right? And then you have zero freedom and independence. And it took me a little bit I fought it for a long time, and it took me a long time to just come to the conclusion, and I'm still struggling with
I was going to say, you figured it out? You got it?
No, but the sooner you can just come to the understanding with yourself that any freedom and independence and selfishness just isn't on the table anymore, and just swallow that pill, like the happier you'll be. And like I still struggle with that, and I think that's always where my impatience comes from, is because I think that I'm gonna have an hour to go do what I want to do, or do nothing, or I don't know. But then I get interrupted by my kids, and then it's like I blow up, and it's like well.
Yeah, how do we I want to see, I'm not great, this is like a desire, but I want to view those interruptions more as opportunities, like that the interruption is an opportunity to engage with my child or to learn something. And I'm saying this is a goal. This is an ideal. This is a dream, because most of the time the interruption is a nuisance. Most of the time the interruption is an interruption. It's like, I'm trying to, can you move out of the way? Like I'm trying to fix this, or I'm trying to do that, or.
Well, you know what it is? Sometimes it's like, hey, Dad, I want to play baseball, or hey, Dad, can you come play barbecue with me? And we can get our heads around that. What the interruptions usually are is, hey, Dad, this guy hit me, or hey, Dad, this guy took my this or that. It's tattles, right? It's tattle, and that's what drives me crazy. Man. That's where my lack of patience goes. Don't tell me don't tell me about this.
How should we deal with that, Richard? What is it? Just suck it up and deal with it, or
put self aside?
Yeah,
a lot of times. Yeah, it's self aside. Pour into them.
And stop hitting your sister. That's what it is. Stop hitting your brother. Have you seen the fruit of that patience now that your kids are older? Have you seen the fruit of being patient with them, watching them walk to the dead end? Like do you believe you still have a relationship with them now and a voice with them now because of that patience put in then?
For sure, especially in my son.
Yeah.
I see, they talk about that. Not that because I wasn't his biological father, but they've talked about just from being raised and being around you. I forget the term they call it, but I see him kind of having the same kind of patience just in his life and his dealings of just because hopefully he's seen that in me, like, you know, like father, like son. And, you know, that was even my dad. I'm very, if you saw my dad, you go, yep, that's Richard's dad.
Really?
Or my brother too.
Really?
Yeah, we look very a lot alike, you know. And just that, like father, like son somewhat, you know. And I think you kind of want to see that in your kids, you know, as a dad somewhat. Of course, you don't want them to take the bad traits, you know, take the good trait.
That's rich, man. So we got to be more patient, Nathan.
Oh yeah, that's it.
We gotta
Okay,
figure
yeah,
some
thank
things
you.
out.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay, here we
go. Richard, thanks for hanging, man. Any other sage advice you got for dads?
Final word, not final words.
Whoa, man. Yeah.
Pour into
Parting
them.
words.
Pour into them, you know. You'll see the fruit. And it actually goes by pretty fast. Yeah. Enjoy them because it goes by pretty fast.
Yeah. Would you pray for us? Sure. And us, I'm definitely Nathan and I. We need a lot of it, but also just for other dads listening and wanting to be a dad, probably similar to the way you describe your dad, man. I would love someday my kids to say, my dad was awesome. Right. My dad, he had a lot of commitments. He had a lot of work and responsibility, but when he was there, he was all there. He made that a priority. I know that would be my aim. But would you pray for all of us, dads?
Sure.
Thanks, man.
So, dear Father, we just thank you for this time, and just as dads that you would just still in our hearts, just our Abba Father, and just how we want to be Christ-like in that, and we want to be great dads, you know. And so we lift all dads to you, including ourselves, and just we know you're there, but walk with us as we independently grow each child individually and instill in them your spirit, and just walk with them through that as Jesus walks through us, Lord. And just to again, just pour into our children. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Richard.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Yesterday is over and the future has come.